I'm Sandie La Nae. Welcome to Psychic Creations. We have a very fun show for you today. As you know, I'm a psychic and I use tools as my method to give intuitive readings. Now, being in the field of metaphysics has led me to meet and become friends with many others who have gifts and talents in the different areas of intuition and divination, using their own unique tools and methods. Now, one awesome method and tool is runes. My guest speaker today happens to use, read, teach, and create runes. Please welcome to our show today, DebiLynn Smith.
Thank you, Sandie. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, this is an honor. This is going to be so much fun to learn all about runes today. I have a lot of questions to ask you if you don't mind.
Please go for it.
All right, here we go. Well, first, okay, all about you. Are you originally from Carson City?
Yes and no, Sandie. I was born on the eastern slope of the Sierras.
Mm-hmm.
I have lived here most of my life except for when we were in the military. And I was born in Bishop, raised at Sonora Junction, which is halfway between Bridgeport and Colville, California.
Okay.
And out in the middle of nowhere. And Carson City is my second home because we'd have to travel here to go to the doctor, the dentist, to get groceries, all of those kind of needs that you do. And we did it once a month, so Carson City is kind of my second home.
Sure.
My husband Dean and I moved here last August after I retired.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
And you liking it here?
Oh, I'm loving it.
Oh, good.
I'm loving it.
Oh, how
I am.
fun.
I love Carson.
Well, your wonderful runes here. I'd like to ask you, what piqued your interest in the world of metaphysics?
Wow. I think it's one of the first memories I have as a baby and growing up with my mom and dad. My mom was Celtic and my dad was Native American. And I've been around metaphysics all my life. And my mom, like you, has a gift for the other side, shall we say?
Okay.
The other side.
Uh-huh.
A lot of encounters and stuff like that growing up my whole life. So it was just part of my growing up to know that there wasn't other things out there, you know. And Dad, even though he didn't admit it till later on, he had a gift too. As I was explaining early to Carolyn, he was a dowser and he had psychic abilities as well. So I think it just kind of came natural that I would follow along that path. I was encouraged to nurture my gift and to practice.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
That's a blessing.
You had that, yes.
Yes.
Well, Debbie, what areas do you like in the world of metaphysics?
Wow. So many areas in so little time, as they say. I believe that the main part of what I do is I'm a sensitive, which is a person that is attuned to the wants and needs spiritually of people on this astral plane and other astral planes. And I think that's why orbs like me.
They do. They do.
I think that's why they like me. And Michael follows me around with a
That's
camera.
right, he does.
So I think that has a lot to do with it. But I think the thing that is very, very, very important is that you take your gifts, and they are a gift. And fortunately, my parents encouraged me to use my gift because they felt it was a gift from a higher being.
Right.
And they wanted me to do my work doing this. But not being really brave, I only did a lot of readings for family and friends for so many years. And it was 3 years ago at the Festival of Earthly Treasures, a client bought a set of runes and asked me to do the first reading with them.
Oh, nice.
So that was the first time I'd ever read for a blind public. It was interesting.
Sure.
She was crying at the end of the read, so I guess I did something right.
Oh, yes.
Or wrong.
Yes, I understand that.
Yeah, and so that was kind of the turnaround point for my rune mall career.
Oh, good.
Kind of brought it forth. Some of the other things that I do is I do make the runes. I make the bags, which also fit tarot cards. I do
oh, that's beautiful.
altar plates, and they're hand carved and hand embellished with the signs and symbols that you want. So I take the customer's order and make them.
And that's the leather plate?
It's made out of leather.
Oh, nice.
As an offering plate on your altar or whatever, you know, we can put whatever on there, any kind of signs and symbols.
Goodness.
That's available. And I do journals. I do journaling both spiritually and nature journaling.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is the nature journaling? What's that?
Nature journaling is taking people out into nature and showing them maybe natural minutia that they missed walking through the woods, and having them to practice writing it down what it is, looking it up in some natural history books.
Isn't that interesting?
And trying to teach them to draw them into their journal and journal their experiences out in the woods.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
I love it. I love it. Let's see. I also do personal rune castings, obviously. I can do them in person, on the phone, over the computer. So
nice.
Anybody can call and get what they need. So
sure.
That works out pretty well. I'm looking at my list here.
That's okay.
I do croning ceremonies too.
What is that?
Well, when you say the word crone, everybody thinks of this poor old shriveled up old witch of a lady, okay? Croning is not that at all. Croning is when a woman comes into the croning era of her life in a goddess's life, where she is the respected one, the revered elder. And instead of making everybody feel ugly because they got old and brittle and, you know, useless, we celebrate that in the pagan society. Yes. And we bring that out. So I do a ceremony where this person is honored, and her friends and family come, and it's primarily women, sorry Michael, but primarily women that will come and honor this person with hand massages and shoulder massages and bring them gifts and play music and read poems and sing songs.
Nice.
And that person is honored for the fact that they have gone that long. And,
isn't that awesome?
And treasured for their knowledge.
Sure.
So I think that that's one of the most important things.
That
I
is
also
nice.
have Anamkara Women's Circle, which is a Celtic circle. I teach the Celtic way of life from a woman's perspective. I do that every month here in North Carson.
Oh, nice.
And I teach per season. And as you know, the Celtics were big on, and the pagans were big on seasons, so everything revolved around the seasons. So that's what I teach on a women's circle too. So.
Oh, that's fascinating. I love that.
Thank you. And creative journaling, like I said. So both spiritually Celtic or Native American, either side. So.
Well, you are fascinating. Oh, this is wonderful. I didn't know these things about you. It's nice to learn.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Well, you really definitely are in the metaphysical world. Cool. All right. What led you to I can't even speak, the world of runes.
Runes, yes.
Runes.
Mom helped me build my first set, or make my first set, when I was about 17.
Oh,
We used the willow sticks from across the street where we lived, from the Walker River, and carved them out.
Oh, nice.
And then she helped me to learn the symbols, which there are 24, and their meanings, and then learn how to cast them and read them.
Oh, nice. Very, very nice. All right. Well, these are beautiful here.
Thank you.
All right. Well, can you give our viewers the history of runes?
Okay, this is probably where I'm going to have to read some stuff.
That's
That's
fine.
okay.
That's fine.
Runes have been around since about 1300 BCE. They're recorded documents and legends and stuff that have spoken of the runes for that long. The first runes were used as boundary markers for properties, to mark the summer solstices all over Europe, Austria, Germany, France, Netherlands, Belgium, all over Scandinavia and the British Isles. They used them to mark the, like I said, the summer solstices. Other important things that were took precedence in a Celtic tribal life. They used the runes for recordation. The most part that they've, like I said, have been found, they've even found them in the caves, in some caves along the Mississippi River and the Missouri River here in the United States.
Really?
Yeah. And there's two famous rune stones here in the United States. Now, the first one is the Kensington stone, and it's in Minnesota. It was believed to be brought here between 600 and 900 AD by more than likely the Scandinavian people that came to that area to settle as colonists and stuff. But even that precedes some of the, the migrations and stuff like that. So I think those little Celts got everywhere and brought their stuff with them. So
it sure sounds like it, yeah.
And the other one is called the Heavener Stone, and it's in Oklahoma. And this particular stone is dated to about, let me make sure I get this right, 600 to 900 AD. It's a huge stone, so it was not transported here. It was actually carved in its spot.
Really?
So that tells us that the Celts traveled to the United States, or Vikings or something of that kind of a Germanic tribe traveled here prior to Columbus and any other major explorations to the United States.
Wow, that is fascinating. Oh.
They're basically druid in nature. Nowadays, we mostly use them in druidic ceremony and, again, for the solstices and stuff like that. And they're also used on big monoliths and sacred sites in Stonehenge, England. Everybody is familiar with Stonehenge. And they're also used at Newgrange in Ireland, which is a burial cairn, which is a site, a grave, and they're used to mark the outside and the inside of that area.
Oh, fascinating.
And there's also evidence of them on Orkney Island in Scotland, and they're all over the greater British Isles and the smaller islands, like I said, as a Celtic and tribal use.
Oh, that is so interesting. Oh, thank you for that. Oh, wow. Well, let's see. Can you explain to us what the there's glyphs on the runes. Can you explain what they are? Are they advice, or are they people's characters, emotions, or?
The set that I use is called the Germanic Futhark. It's, no, I didn't cuss. It's a Germanic Futhark. And it consists of 24 stones. And each stone has a carving or a glyph upon it, like you said. And what they represent are everyday items from the everyday life of the Celtic tribes. There's a glyph for fire. There's a glyph for the sun, for health, for wealth, for ice, harvest, growth and gestation. Pretty much everything. Horses, oxen, warriors, protection, the elk. So they are pretty much Germanic, or not that German, that Germanic, to the life that was existing as the Celtic tribes were going, around.
Oh, how interesting. Oh, those are very interesting. Well, are the runes today used in the same traditional ways or ways from back then?
They are and they're not. Because these are so ancient, we really don't have any recordation of what and how they were used back then. Original runes were made of wood, usually a short stave of wood or stick, and that's what they were carved into because that was an easier art form. It was easier than trying to do something into stones themselves.
Sure.
So they've all disappeared. They've all gone away. So we don't have any that kind of recordation, but the earliest recordation of finding and using the rune comes from 96 AD, and it's from the monk Roman historian. His name is Tacitus. I knew I was going to get this wrong. Tacitus, and he recorded this as the Roman armies and stuff were conquering other lands. And it wasn't necessarily in England that he recorded this. It could have been in Germany, Belgium, anywhere in that European area. And so I'm going to read what he wrote in his book. It's called Germania. I have to read it.
That's fine. That's fine.
To quote his work in Germania, chapter 10, to divination and casting of lots, they, the Celts, pay attention beyond any other people. Their method of casting lots is a simple one. They cut a branch from a fruit tree and divide it into smaller pieces, which they mark with certain distinctive signs, notae, or runes. and scatter at random on a white cloth. And scatter at random on a white cloth. Then the priest or priestess of the community, if the lots are cast in public, or the father of the family if done privately, and after invoking the gods and with eyes raised to the heaven, picks up 3 pieces, one at a time, and interprets them according to the signs previously marked upon them. So this is an actual quote from a Roman history book on how the runes were used in the Celtic tribes. So.
Oh, oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so, that brings tears to my eyes. Thank you so
beautiful?
much for, for reading that for our viewers. Isn't that awesome?
I like it, yeah.
Oh gosh, that is Roman.
Roman, yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that is cool. Well, like the tarot has different spreads to read the cards, okay? Now, do you read the runes? Is there different spreads or different ways and means to read these?
There is. They're called casts.
Casts.
Because back in the day when the runes were wood, they would either drop them on a table with a white cloth or draw a circle in the soil and drop them, and whatever fell out was impertinent, and then they'd read from what was in the center. So that's called a cast.
Okay.
Nowadays, with the more beautiful stonework and stuff that we use for the runes, it's not a good idea to throw them.
Well, sure.
No. So
Sure.
we want to keep them careful. So I have devised other ways to be able to draw. But the layouts, like you said, the casts, they are very similar they are very similar to the casts or the layouts of the tarot, I Ching, other divination things.
Okay.
So, but again, it all depends on the intuitive artist. If you're a tarot reader, you're an I Ching practitioner. If you're a lithomancer, there's different ways to interpret what's there.
Sure.
So yeah, there are certain layouts. There's 3 basic ones that are used for runes. The first is a single cast or a single stone. This could be done daily.
Okay.
With the intention of what do I need to know today, or what should I be prepared for, what knowledge do I need to know today, and you pick one rune and then interpret it. Or there's a 3-rune spread where it talks about your situation now, the past events that brought you to that situation, and the outcome of that event, similar to a tarot reading. And then there's a Celtic cross, which uses 6 stones, and it encompasses the 3, where I've been, where I am now, and where I'm going to go in the future, but gives more influence to the what got me to this point, and more influence to how I'm going to get to this result. So those are the 3 most commonly used in the rune systems. I don't cast. I've devised with the newer runes that I use one of my bags, and I put the stones in there, and then without looking, I'll draw the runes. And then put them down onto the table, because it's a little safer for the runes and stuff. And then that way you are drawing blind as to what you put down. And also when I read, I don't touch the runes.
I see. Okay.
Very different than tarot, some of the other intuitive arts. Runes are an organic form of an oracle or divination, and because they are, it is believed that whenever you touch something, and I've been taught this ever since I was a child by my father, that no matter what you touch in life, a little bit of your spirit rubs off on it, no matter what you do. So he's always told me since I was a little kid, Deb, I don't care what you do, if you're making your runes, you're doing your beadwork, you're planting the garden, you're cleaning the toilet, I want you to do it with a good attitude, because a little bit of you rubs off on it. So you don't want to have negative influence going out there. So when I read runes for other people, the set is cleansed or cleaned in the bag. They pick out the runes.
Nice.
They lay them down. I don't touch them, because I don't want my influence upon those stones. Because runes, unlike a lot of the divination and oracle tools, is actually a way to reach into the psyche and to use that stone's energy and your energy to pull out what you actually need to know and hear. It isn't, you're going to meet a tall, dark, handsome stranger. It's more of, okay, today you need to be aware of or your situation is this today, this is how you got here, and this is a way to correct that. So,
Love that.
yeah, it's a little,
That's a
little
very,
different.
that's a good point. That's a good point. I like that, where your client will choose.
Right, I don't touch them, and then after every session, they're cleansed, so
Good
that
point.
their energy isn't left upon their,
Exactly. Oh, I really like that. I like that. Oh, this is so interesting. Thank you so much for, oh, this is just wonderful. I love this. Well, now you offer classes
I do.
teaching the runes. Can you let our viewers know what that entails?
Basically, you get a history, and I've kind of let a lot of the cat out of the bag today
Well,
with the
that's all
history,
right.
but that's okay. There is more, I promise. And the students will learn about the runes, the ancient history that I've taught them. They'll learn about how to make their own runes. I don't have them make their own runes, but they learn how they may make their own runes.
Oh.
They'll learn how to cast,
Mm-hmm.
cast for each other, cast for themselves. I give them a lot of playtime so that they're practicing on each other or themselves with my guidance, and actually taking the chart of the runes and using their intuition and their intuitiveness to read the chart to say, okay, this rune means this or that rune means that, and to be able to read for each other. So there's that involved, and there's a lot of handouts and a lot of information that I give out in 2 hours.
So it's a 2-hour class?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you hold those on special days or once a month or every 6 months? Or?
I hold 2 a month on
Oh.
the first and third Tuesdays here in North Carson, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and I have the next one coming up next Tuesday.
Oh, cool.
So
Awesome.
if you're interested, it would be good to
Sure.
give me a buzz and get a hold of me,
Oh,
and we
yeah.
can book you into that class. So
Well, I think that's awesome. Awesome. Well, Debbie, these runes are absolutely beautiful. Could I pull
Oh, absolutely,
a rune and
absolutely.
have you? Okay.
But before you do,
Uh-huh.
I want you to think of something, and the way I start my day is I will pull a rune and say, what is in store for me today?
Okay.
What lesson do I need to learn? What knowledge do I need to have?
Okay.
So you feel
Well, I'll
free to
think
go
about
ahead and
that.
think of something, and then go ahead and pull a rune, and I'll hopefully
Oh.
decipher it for
Oh,
you.
yeah, well, I think you'll do a good job. I'm really liking this guy right here. Yeah, isn't that beautiful?
If Michael can get a close-up,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Can you see that? This is called Feyu. Feyu is the rune of wealth.
Oh,
and
I like that.
wealth and possessions. And because you chose it right side up, it's a positive. We do the negative, the upside down.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, this is a positive. And what it talks about is how sometimes your wealth isn't necessarily monetary things. It's your talent, which you have,
Oh,
things that you need to work upon. So this is actually affirming that what you're doing today by doing this show is part of your wealth of talent, and showing that you are in your zone, as you are.
Yeah.
And Feyu is also the first letter of the Futhark. It represents the letter F, and every rune I didn't mention, every rune does represent a letter of the alphabet. A couple of them are combined,
Sure.
the TH, and there's a couple other ones that are combined. But so this is the F word.
Okay.
That didn't sound right. This symbolizes F.
Okay.
Okay. And it is the first letter of Futhark. So that's a pretty
Oh.
good rune to choose, man.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're
well, I'm
welcome.
impressed. I'm impressed. Well, and thank you, Universe, for
Yes.
guiding me to choose that stone.
Exactly.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So much more.
That's right.
Michael? Carolyn?
Well, now, do you have contact information for your classes or for your readings?
I do. I can be reached at oraclerunes@gmail and gmail.com, and then I can also be reached on Facebook at Oracle Runes, Carson City, Nevada. So
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, we have a special surprise for you. You also make and create runes, right?
yes,
Yes, you do.
yes, I did.
And you made all these here?
Yes, ma'am.
Boy, these are just beautiful, just
Thank you,
beautiful. Now, we got a little teaser alert for you, because what we're going to be doing is having another show. DebiLynn's going to come back, yay! And we're going to have a show, and she is going to teach us how she makes runes. And, well, I just think that's going to be fabulous to see just what tools you use to create the runes. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
And my runes are available at the classes that I teach, so you can get them there. And
Oh,
the
cool.
bags, and I have runic jewelry, and a few other little treasures that are fun.
Oh, these are awesome. And you make the bags too to
Yes,
go
ma'am.
with your runes?
Yes.
Well, these are just absolutely beautiful. I don't know if you can zoom in on, this is kind of a burgundy colored one.
Velveteen, yes.
These
With
are beautiful.
old braid and some old beads on the ends, so they are embellished, a little bit more special than just a Ziploc.
Well, sure. Well, sure. These beautiful runes need a beautiful home to be living in there and resting in.
And these will fit most standard tarot decks as well, so they're multifunctional.
That's nice.
Yeah.
These are real nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. All right. Well, Debbie, thank you so much for being such an awesome guest on our show today. These are just beautiful. Just beautiful. It's an honor having you.
Thank you. It was an honor to be here,
Oh,
Sandy.
thank you so much. These are wonderful, wonderful. Well, stay tuned for another show in a couple of months with DebiLynn here, showing us how to create these beautiful runes. Now, if you would like to have a psychic stone reading, you can get a hold of me at my website, which is www.sandypsychicstones.com. And if you would like to be a special guest on my show, please note that the content is of metaphysical, spiritual, holistic health specialties, wonderful people like Debbie. And you can contact me at my website, which is www.sandypsychicstones.com, or you can get a hold of me on my personal email, which is admin@sandypsychicstones.com. Thank you so much for being an awesome guest.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching
Thank you.
Psychic Creations, and we'll see you next show.